welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the March 15th to the 22nd weekly outlook for the sign of Aries. This is going to be a general outlook for Aries. And before I get started, let me remind you all that I am giving away the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck this month. This will be given away on March 31st. So please check out my channel at that time. In order to be in the running for that, you have to be subscribed to my channel and just leave me a comment letting me know you want to be in the drawing. All right, guys? All right, so we're going to get right into it. Aries, pull out your 3 romance angel messages. Then we're going to go ahead and pull out your animal spirits. I've done most of my shuffling off camera. All right, straight out we get, it is safe for you to love. All right, time to open up your heart, perhaps to a new romantic relationship, past life relationship. So you've known each other before. And we have let your friends help you. So sure, Aries, could be a time for you to really be reaching out to your friends, you know, letting them help you with a particular love connection perhaps. Let's see what your animal spirits for the week are. Of course, this is the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck that I use here. And I love using this. This is the one I'm giving away this month. And this is my go-to animal spirit deck, really, because it is such a great deck. I love it so much. It's really one of those quality decks that you can work with for many, many years, you know, so it's really nice. I love it. So anyway, let's get your animal spirits out, Aries, and see which animal spirits you might be resonating with this week. All right, guys, so straight out we have the tarantula, talking about coming to a crossroads in your life, having to make a decision. The phoenix. All right, the phoenix is associated with the root chakra at the very base of the spine, the very first chakra. And of course, here we're talking about death and rebirth, reincarnation, reinventing yourself, and then the deer, earth spirit. The the tarantula is fire, the deer is earth, and the phoenix, of course, is ether. The deer is, of course, the card for the mother, right? So it's the strong feminine energy, the deer. Let's get right into it before we pull out your traditional spread with the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. We're going to pull this, go over this, and then we'll pull your 3 forecasts. So tarantula is fire energy. And this is another thing I love about these cards, because each card will let you know at the top of the card what element, as far as alchemical symbol, that is the alchemical symbol for fire. So tarantulas are associated with fire. They are associated with being at a crossroads in your life, right? Coming to a point or a time in your life where you have to have extreme patience and understanding and focus. Understanding that right now you are at a place in your life where the decisions that you are about to make could set the course for many, many years to come in your life. So your decisions right now have a huge impact. They have a much bigger impact than in other times in your life. Because right now you're at a place where you're going to have to decide which way to go. Right? This needs a decision, right? And so the tarantula is a strong card for that. And that will mean if the spirit of the tarantula is coming into your life, you will notice that certain things are beginning to happen that could change the way you live your life in a totally complete way, right? You'll know what I'm talking about if you're resonating with this energy, right? It'll be chances to do things like move or travel or start something completely new, get involved in something completely new, heavy big time decisions. Now the phoenix is also associated with the root chakra, and is also kind of associated with a period in your life where you're making a really you're making decisions that have really big impacts, right? That have far-reaching consequences in your life. The phoenix talks about just deciding to let go of suffering, right? Phoenix is all about, you know, the spirit of just letting certain things go, because it's been like so long, and it's like, you know, you just don't want to suffer under it anymore. You don't want to suffer with the burden of it, or the thought of it, or it impacting your life. Sometimes you get tired of baggage simply fucking your life up. You ever get to that? You ever go through that, where you're at a point in your life where you've had a certain baggage that has continue to stop you either having fun or progressing or doing and being the way you want to be, doing the things you want to do truly in your heart, but you've been stopped by some kind of hang up, right? Like you really wanted to go and, do this thing that was really artistic, but a lot of people will watch you and you're like, no, I can't. I'm too embarrassed. I'm too shy. I have a hang up about, succeeding in life or what have you, so, or being in front of people. I think everybody's going to laugh at me. That's what I mean by a hang up or a baggage. And like, how many times do we all have certain types of hang ups and baggage that stops us from doing the things we truly want to do? Right? And after a while, that just becomes so tedious, right? You just get tired of always being held back. You get tired of always being the one who wasn't strong enough or brave enough or confident enough to do the things you truly wanted to do. It is at that point in your life that the spirit of the phoenix comes in. So it's a very, very strong animal spirit in that way. It's just like, it's not like you're burning bridges to the past, you're forgetting about it, you're trying to stuff it away. It is really like you are really, truly letting go, and it just doesn't continue to cause you suffering anymore. And it's at times like this where you really feel this kind of development inside yourself. You suddenly feel this development coming up, like you've learned something, this maturity. You literally feel yourself maturing, right? And coming into a space in your life where you're making better decisions, right? It's very strong energy. And the deer is, of course, feminine, motherly energy. It's earth energy, and the deer is associated with the great mother. So here, with the spirit of the deer coming into your life, we're talking about being very protective, being very nurturing to something, either a child or even a new project. The deer is associated with a high level of creativity as well. So we could even think of the beginning ideas of a really special project. Say, for instance, you are a filmmaker or you're a storyteller, or you're an artist of some kind. Maybe you're a songwriter, and it's like you start to get the inklings of the beginning of a new project, right? Maybe a new film or a new album. This can also invite the spirit of the deer, because suddenly you feel very sort of nurturing over this idea. You feel like you need to protect the idea. You know what I mean? It's you put your heart and soul into developing it. So interestingly enough, the deer energy can sort of indicate in real life in terms of motherhood, that you may be coming into motherhood. You may be having children or stepchildren or adopted children. If children are not part of it, this could indicate some very important creative project starting in your life that you feel very emotionally invested in. Okay, so you could be resonating with the deer in that sense also. And it's still the same thing. Whether it's an actual child or a project, it still requires nurturing and care and comfort and protection and etc. But everything that we would expect the mother to give. All right, guys. Aries, this is your reading. Let me go ahead and get ready to pull out your 3 cards. All right, here we go. All right, straight out we have Page of Wands, 7 of Swords, and the Queen of Wands. All right, well, some of you are coming into this week feeling very sort of idealistic about something new. In fact, it feels like you are indeed resonating with the spirit of the deer, in the sense that Page of Wands can definitely indicate a new project. The type of project that makes you feel very passionate, right? The type of project that is sort of along the lines of your ideals or your principles. The Page of Wands is really idealistic. And with the pages, we're always seeing not only earth energy, all pages are earth, but there are also overcoming fear, the initial fears that are associated with that suit. So here we have wands, we have fire, we have our passions, our creative communications, etc. So the Page of Wands often talks about that, overcoming that initial fear of showing, performing or showing your art or engaging with other people, putting your work out there, whatever you're passionate about, the act of sort of letting the world know about it, exercising your creative expression, right? Without being sort of feeling like, you know, you're embarrassed or feeling like you have low self-esteem, like you don't believe you can, you know, create the vision that you really want, or you're worried about people ridiculing you or laughing at you or not understanding where you're coming from. All of these sort of initial fears about wanting to express ourselves in the world creatively is what the Page of Wands is sort of seeking to overcome. Right? So the Page of Wands is being very brave. He's generally being very idealistic. Sometimes he can be quite naive. True also, right? Over idealistic without the experience. Nevertheless, this is a strong earthy energy of wanting to get sort of the basics done to get yourself out there on a very important creative project, right? Or some kind of project that you feel passionate about. Even if it's a finance, you could be an accountant, you know, but there's a project you're feeling really excited about, and that's still a creative, you know, that's still being creative. And so I'm just talking about the things that you feel strongly about. And some of you are in this age, right? This energy this week coming in, starting something new, feeling very energized about it. You're coming into a Seven of Swords. Now, this is quite interesting. You're either running up against a situation where your decisions seem to not be working, right? Or you could be dealing with somebody who is interfering with your plans behind the scenes. Seven of Swords is the card for futility. It's also the card for treachery. And so a lot of times what can happen, Aries, is that if you're trying to accomplish a certain project and suddenly, you know, not even suddenly, but for whatever reason, you know, the decisions that you're making don't seem to have the outcomes that you want, right? You get this sense of futility coming in, this sense of, you know, whatever it is you're trying to do, you're just not accomplishing it. The decisions you're making are not accomplishing it. Sometimes you also will find out the reason for this is because somebody is also actively working against you. It could be somebody in your group or somebody that you're very close to or somebody that has some sort of ability to impact your energy, right? Whether it's because they're a friend or because they, you know, they convince you to do different things, whether they have influence or whether they, whatever the case may be, their energy impacts you, and it can impact you in a negative way. Seven of Swords is a very toxic card. It's, you know, it's definitely a card for, you can see the person is the thief in the night, right? But the other side of it is that this person is someone who's wants what you have so strongly, but they don't want to work for it. So they rather take the half measure of just taking it from you. That is a sort of an essence or an energy that is also associated with futility, right? Making half-hearted sort of attempts to achieve something is the essence of futility. And that is how those two energies are connected here in this card. So in either way, however that manifests for you this week, you'll clearly notice it because things just won't be working out for you. By the end of the week, you have a Queen of Wands, and that really indicates that somebody will be there to help you to figure this all out. You're trying to attempt something quite new here. You're coming up against these really odd energetic sort of stumbling blocks. But again, Queen of Wands being someone who has a lot of experience, someone who's been there before, someone who wants to help you also. This could be someone who is a friend of yours or a family member. This could be a fellow artist who may be a bit older, or even if they're not older, they have more experience in the area. In either case, this is going to be someone who really wants to help you out with this situation and give you some good advice on how to handle this. And this is going to happen for you this week for some of you. If you're resonating with this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I wouldn't be surprised if you're an artist in some way, a musician, a painter, a sculptor, or playwright, filmmaker, something like that. Seven of Cups, King of Pentacles, and the Devil. Seven of Cups, King of Pentacles, and the Devil. All right. Sometimes I do misspeak people, but you'll obviously know, you know what I mean. Seven of Cups, we're talking about for some of you are coming into the week really sort of being overly optimistic about something, right? So Seven of Cups is the card for delusional thinking. It can be, depending on, just hold on one second, I gotta take a sip. I had to take a sip of iced coffee. Depending on the situation, Seven of Cups can definitely indicate, you know, an over sort of idealizing of a relationship, right? Having unrealistic expectations of the way a certain emotional or personal relationship is going to go. It can be sort of really having a fairy tale outlook on something, or sort of this kind of like, you know, I dream of genie sort of attitude, like I'm just going to wish for something and it's going to appear and it's going to make my life all happy. You know what I mean? This is the essence of Seven of Cups. And some of you may be coming into the week like this with this attitude. And it just means that you need to ground yourself. It can sometimes mean that it's coming on because somebody has sort of gotten you to believe this. Maybe somebody is trying to court you or woo you or get you into a relationship, and they've painted this really perfect picture of what this relationship is going to be like, and you may be definitely all caught up in it and thinking about it. And again, I don't mean to say that that is anything bad, but as long as you realize that right now you're in a daydream, right? At some point you will have to come down, and you're coming into this week, interestingly enough, with this King of Pentacles, right? So you're meeting up against someone who may be someone who has a lot of money, who may be somehow involved with the situation financially or what have you. This could be someone at work that you're dealing with. It could be your boss at work. The King of Pentacles is someone who has a lot of sort of financial authority, right? So he's a lot of times going to be a benefactor. He's going to be a boss. He's going to be the person who signs your checks, or he may be the one in the relationship who has all the coins and who sort of takes care of the household and all of that. He's clearly very successful, right? And he's someone that's coming into your life this week. And it's interesting. He's coming in as a response, maybe as a response, but in some way going to impact this attitude that you have coming in, that something is going to be super perfect going forward. You may be thinking about even like a wedding or something like that, and you think it's going to be absolutely perfect, but then maybe you don't have the funds for that, right? Whatever the case may be, that is an example of this energy also. Yet this King of Pentacles comes in some way, either to support you this week, or to maybe put some kind of perspective on things. King of Pentacles is earthy, right? Fiery aspect of earth. So he can be perhaps maybe able to come in and put a little bit more perspective on this idea you have here. By the end of the week, you round off with the Devil, which is quite interesting because it's like, the Devil talks about sort of really being kind of codependent and like a slave to your addictions. So like easily tempted at times when you are sort of unhappy, or, you know, we would call that when we're weak, you know, when we're grieving or sad or broken up, or when we don't have the energy to push on through something, right? And we, you know, maybe we're not feeling 100% confident, right? We just want a little booster. That is the little kernel that starts addiction, right? We all can have it. So that's why everyone is susceptible to it, because we all have moments when we're feeling like that. So it could be careful. It could be that, you know, you kind of come down to earth over here this week with this King of Pentacles and realize that something isn't as perfect as you want it to be. And then by the end of the week, you're kind of ready to skip down this lane with the Devil in terms of like, you know, you're disappointed. And so you just want some instant satisfaction, some instant gratification. You just want to feel better, because I think for some reason you might, after coming down here, talking to somebody and realizing that whatever this idea wasn't realistic, I think you may go out and be doing too much drinking here. You may be going out and doing things you know you shouldn't be doing. So just be very careful by the end of the week if this is how you feel. I mean, this is not to say that you can't indulge, but for whatever reason, the Devil is still there to, you know, warn you that this could become a habit. Justice, Page of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. So this is the final reading. All right, so some of you Aries are coming into this period where you are waiting for like some kind of judgment to come in, something that's going to come in and sort of rebalance the situation. Justice is, of course, the card for Libra, but Aries, it could very well be that, you know, you have a decision that comes through. You may be signing documents. You may be engaging in mediation, court, judges, whatever the case may be. It may be something quite official. It could be something that's official as far as your job is concerned. It could just be something as simple as a decision that needs to be signed. But all of these types of things are associated with justice. And they're things that generally happen to sort of rebalance things in our lives. You know, if we've suffered a loss in some way, then this action generally is coming in to help us regain from that loss and rebuild from that point of view, right? And that way the balance is struck. It's justice, right? It's not injustice coming in. So it's justice coming in to right or wrong. Some of you are waiting for this and may be happening the beginning of the week. And then you come into this Page of Pentacles. It's quite interesting. It's like you're being very, very practical after this decision. And then by the end of the week, you're able to come together with somebody. I think some of you may be waiting for a divorce or separation to come in this week, okay? And I think it will be coming in for you. This is only going to resonate with some of you. I'm going to say if you're an Aries waiting for something like that that's going to free you up, or some kind of decision that's coming in that's going to allow you to be with somebody, even if it isn't a divorce or a separation, even if it's a job promotion and for whatever reason you've been living apart from each other, and that job promotion allows you to have the money to be able to be closer to your lover, that will be an example as well of the two energies coming together. But this is a very nice reading to end on, because for some of you Aries, this justice action that comes in for you serves very well for you to just this week come into this energy of very earthy energy. Page of Pentacles is earth of earth. You're going to get all the paperwork signed, all the stuff done, you know, everything that you need to get done to have this beautiful Two of Cups connection by the end of the week. Whether that means moving towards somebody that you've been away from for a while, or getting that apartment so you guys can live together, or whatever the case may be, it's going to be a real physical getting together of the two of you, right? Not just like, oh, agreeing to be together, but like moving in together, living together in the same country if you're in different countries or states, right? Or cities even, whatever the case may be, but you're going to be coming physically together as a result of this action here, which is very, very nice. This definitely feels like the spirit of the tarantula coming in as well, because it's like a crossroads moment where you two will be coming together, or you will be coming together with your partner, Aries, in a very sort of real and long-term way. It's a very nice reading to end on. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. This is your outlook for March 15th to the 22nd for Aries. If you want to check out your other readings down in the description, you can do that. Your 2020 outlooks and all of that is coming up. I will be doing your quarterly outlook for April, May, and June. I'm not sure if that's up just yet, but if it is, I'm going to link that also. But for right now, Aries, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week for your weekly outlook. Bye-bye now.